I had no idea her name was Ellen.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Whose name is Ellen?
Landry.
Oh.
Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, episode 381.
Wow.
Yep. We continue on with Discovery. What's Past is Prologue.
Wow, what's Past Is Prologue, Chris?
I just watched this last night.
Your brain turned fully off.
It really did.
You going to introduce yourself, maybe?
Right, yes. Wowzers. I might...
Is this
Wow.
is this like an act, or are you like...
No, I'm genuinely just kind of like just not here today.
Well,
This is
Basket really did a number on you.
Do you have the Rona? Do you have the brain fog?
I don't know. This is maybe Chris, but now I'm not sure.
Oh, well, this is Captain Mames.
Yes, I was hoping you would say that. I don't have a good follow-up for that, so I'll just say this is
How about
Caitlin.
Haitlin?
Haitlin!
Chris had a good one.
Yes!
What was your good one?
Oh.
Was Decapitatelin.
Yeah, Decapitate.
Which I like.
Haitlin! Oh, man.
And Chrisintegrate.
I like...
Jake, you don't have any good ones.
I love Haitlin, though.
And
I love them
I'm
both.
Jake.
And Frog.
Jake the Snake.
So yeah, this week we're still in the Mirror Universe. Jesus, what's happened? Oh yeah.
4 episodes of Mirror fucking Universe.
Oh, it's been so fun.
Ames's favorite.
Lorca is having a big old pigeon time with a coup.
Oh, pigeon time. That's cute.
They
Chris
grab
loves pigeons.
Mirror Stamets and he unleashes gas, which apparently no one thought to do before.
Oh, no.
I do that all the time. Farts.
There's an assault. The Emperor flees. Not Stamets. Lorca gets to the bridge. He kills Stamets.
Hilariously.
Yes, that's true.
Just
That was
kidding,
good.
I hate poetry.
I loved that.
That's great, yeah. Michael teams up with the Emperor to
Oh, but
like...
she looks like someone she knew.
Yes!
For no other fucking reason.
Somebody that I used... Wow, yep, exactly.
I love that. Good for you guys.
There's the episode title. Because really... Well, we'll get to that when we get to the episode. Yeah, they team up and they eventually take down Lorca. The big problem we find out is that evil Stamets, rather than use the mycelium network to make the spore drive, he was just sucking the mycelium network into what I incorrectly called a sun last week.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was too.
Yeah, it's draining the mycelium network alive in an admittedly unsubtle peak oil thing. And all of reality will implode if they kill the mycelium network.
Change.
Yes. So, part of the whole thing, it all dovetails when they assault the bridge, they assault the bridge on the Charon, they kill Lorca, they take down the shield, they kerplode the energy thing. The energy thing, they ride the shockwave, kind of like Star Trek 2009, but also they get some residual spores that let Stamets get them back to the prime timeline. They're 9 months forward, whoopsie, but double whoopsie. Starfleet has all but lost the war. They, show the map. There's, very little bit of Alpha Quadrant left that's still blue.
Definitely Burnham's fault.
Bum, bum, bum.
Wait, so what was this 2009 reference?
They eject the warp core and ride the shockwave so they don't fall into the black hole.
Wow, I've forgotten 2009, already, and I'm
That was
glad.
like a month ago.
I know, right?
Also-
I'm thinking more Force of Nature, that TNG episode with the Stilton, with the
Stilton.
corridor.
Yeah, that's the
Sounds
I mean,
delicious.
2009 was hardly the first time anyone rode a shockwave, but it was the most recent. There was a shot that was very Kelvin, though, in this, where they had, the camera, quote-unquote, since it's all digital, but, it was kind of, on the nacelle pylon.
The frame.
They framed it so, the camera's on the nacelle pylon. That's probably why I'm doing it. Nacelle pylon, which was something that Abrams, I don't remember if they did it in the third one, but Abrams loved doing that, having the camera in a weird place on the ship and following it.
I did love Tilly's line, though, when they were on the shockwave.
Was it? Fuck!
It was, "Surf's up! Tubular!"
Radical. Ride that wave.
I legitimately cannot remember, did she actually say surf's up?
No, but that would have been hilarious.
I could have seen her
hilariously
doing that.
terrible. Almost as terrible as "Make the Empire Glorious Again."
That I know I said last week, obviously they couldn't have made this about Trump on purpose because it was too far along in development.
They definitely
but that
did.
line, they had time to squeeze in later.
I'm always curious how far into development they decide things, because it seems to take forever to make shows now.
Yeah.
And like they'll say, okay, we finished shooting. It'll take us another year to get all the CGI and editing together. And be like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
Also, like, it's not like MAGA was a thing.
In 2016.
Since like, I think even maybe in 2015. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, like...
Well, yeah, because he won in 2016, so that means he was already slinging shit in 2015.
Well, all I mean is, like, they, like, I'm sure the general idea of Lorca predated Trump's victory.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm sure the, like... Yeah, the Make the Empire Glorious Again thing was clearly... They had time to add that.
He was like, you're letting all the space Mexicans into the Terran Empire.
It just also takes you so fucking far out of it when they drop a line like that, and it's just annoying.
Something I actually wrote once, well in advance of the Trump presidency, involved a very similar line, and if I ever go back and rewrite it, I'm going to take it out because it would be distracting.
Yeah, it's very distracting because it's just it's a dog whistle, not even a dog whistle.
No, it's a referee's whistle.
It's a topical reference, yeah.
Yeah, like here's the thing. Star Trek has obviously always been topical. It's always been a bit on the nose sometimes, but that is too unsubtle. Like again, the oil thing, unsubtle as fuck. But
it's a universal problem.
Yeah.
It's a global problem.
Yeah, and it wasn't like literal oil. It was, they couched it. Like, that's, I think, an okay thing.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, you couch a contemporary social, societal issue in a sci-fi context. You don't just echo a real-life catchphrase.
Wait. Is Star Trek political, Jake?
Oh, it's
I hate
too
to tell
fucking
you,
woke, bro.
I hate to tell you.
Well, except for season 3 of Enterprise, which is fascist as fuck.
Yeah, and the that electoral college map that they had at the end with the the Federation only getting like 3 electoral votes.
Oh, gerrymandered as fuck.
Those Klingons getting all those red states.
So it's funny.
Haha.
You talking about the fact that like Giorgio just looks like somebody. I find it funny that Michael and Lorca have the same problem. Lorca is only brought down because he's insisting to himself that he can make her into his Michael. Like, he clearly had a huge thing for his Michael, and is like,
He had a huge thing for his Michael, all right.
He's like, okay, I can totally get... Like, if he had just been sensible and fucking killed her right the fuck away when he was done with her, he'd have won.
Yeah, truth.
And now she's falling into the same trap of being like, I could totally make this into my Philippa. It's like, no, you can't. Have you met these people?
Yeah, I think the thing that I'm kind of disappointed in kind of the big Lorca turn is A, he stops being clever at all.
Yeah.
And B, we don't really understand him anymore because, for the while, his kind of secret motivation was get back to the Mirror Universe, take back power from Giorgio. Why? Is what I ask.
He wants to be emperor.
Okay, what's bad about Giorgio?
It's not what's bad about her. It's the Mirror Universe, though. Everyone in the Mirror Universe, their primary driving goal is, I want power.
Okay,
he has vaulting ambition.
Yeah. Who's worse?
What do you mean?
Who's worse who would be a worse controller of the Mirror Universe? Giorgio or Lorca?
I think they're equally horrible.
Yeah, that's the point of the Mirror Universe, is there are no good Terrans.
Spock was good. Well, I guess.
Although, here's the thing.
Humans.
Here's the thing that's annoying me, or it hasn't annoyed me yet, but it will annoy me in the future, is they've started this road to Emperor Giorgio redemption arc, where like she's not a villain, but
even though we watched her be a cannibal.
Yeah, and like I don't want to spoil, but people. I feel like in the future,
Copians are people.
I mean, human people. They're not cannibal.
I feel like in the future, we're going to see, like, they keep her as this sort of, like, arch, like, okay, yeah, she's evil to the core, but she does it in service of good now,
and she's bisexual, so it's okay.
She can do the things that Starfleet won't do.
Yeah, there's like it's weird.
I think it would have been much more interesting, a story, if, like, Michael takes Giorgio back to the Prime Universe under the, as you were talking about, under the incorrect assumption that this is just, I can just turn her into my, my mom that died.
Yeah.
And then come to find out, oh no, she's just a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a villain.
Like she by all rights, she should escape Discovery and like go to the Klingons and help them, or I don't know, do something.
Romulans.
Yeah, the thing that I find incredibly problematic about the Mira Giorgio character, and this goes into like, I won't spoil anything from the Section 31 movie, but it's why she's in that fucking movie, is because they try to make this villain into the hero. And it's not even kind of like the Walter White Gray villain type of villain, in which you kind of understand him and see his ways. It's that she's never going to see consequences. She's always going to be treated like she's fine now. And any other villain we saw, like a Ducat or like a Wynn, people who have good characters, they see downfall.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and the thing is, and this is...
Because they're bad people.
Yeah, and the other thing is, that's the whole thing, is like... And yeah, we were talking about it just a minute ago about this episode, but in general, the whole thing with the Mirror Universe, the whole point is that the humans in the Mirror Universe are just everything bad about humanity stripped of any redeeming qualities. They are cartoon villains. You can't try to make them a three-dimensional villain like Gul Dukat or Kai Wynn, who are... You know, like, Gul Dukat's never good, but it's always fascinating how evil he is. Kai Wynn...
Yeah, they're fun to watch.
Yeah, and Kai Wynn, we said, there's like a couple of times where you're like, she almost gets it. And that makes it even more frustrating that she never does, and she stays evil. A Terran, as their very nature as a Terran, as a ridiculous mirror universe thing, is that there is no self-reflection or depth or decency. And to try to give that to a Terran goes against the whole concept of the Mirror Universe, which is just this ridiculous funhouse land. You know, like...
And you love the Mirror Universe.
I do, but
it's still a funhouse.
Yeah, but the thing, I admit, the joy of it is how...
You can't make it serious.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. A serious villain, or a seriously, like, deep villain... Deep villainy and Terran Empire villainy are not compatible.
But here's the thing, right? So, like, this show started out, like, the first introduction to the show is Michael Burnham fucks up badly, gets a lot of people killed. So we're starting out from there. But it's like after that point, the writers decided, okay, she can... Everything else that she does has to be good from now on. And like, she can't have any negative qualities... Or she can't make mistakes.
I was gonna say she has negative qualities.
Well, she does, but I mean, like in the world of the show, like she has to be a paragon and not do bad things. And like
then she brings
Giorgio back should be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a mistake. There should be consequences that
we'll have to see next week.
That Burnham deals with, and bringing a galactic tyrant.
Yeah.
An unredeemably evil tyrant.
She's like genocided races.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, like, and I without getting deals, I don't think they give it the depth it deserves, but, like, if it had been the whole setup of, like, she has the same failing Lorca did, and there actually was, like, a real proper consequence of it, that would be great.
Mm.
But, yeah, like I said, she just kind of becomes this character who shows up sometimes. Because, yeah, on the surface right away, like, they all kind of, even Giorgio briefly, after their big fight, she's like, oh, it's almost like having her back. So there's this understandable aspect that they all have, Terrans and humans, where it's just like, seeing someone you thought you'd lost, even if it's not actually them, you can lose your better instincts.
It's like Kira meeting Mira Bareil.
Yeah.
Which we said was a stupid thing Kira did.
Yeah. So it makes sense, it tracks, but I don't think the show does with it what they could have.
To be fair, in Bareil's case, I think she was mostly just into it because he was so much more interesting in the Mirror Universe.
That is true. Mira Bareil.
Like, literally, having on my 18th rewatch, like, Kira, I was hoping I would see you. I looked into the orb. You were there. What did you see?
And then Kira's panties fall on the floor somehow.
Yeah, for some reason. And then, and though, by extension, it makes sense that Shakar is exciting, because Shakar is at least sending notes to Odo, like, does Kira like me? Check yes.
Yeah, I do feel like, that was I can remember at the time, we're like, okay, so they were actually telling that actor to just be boring for years, because he can be interesting.
Well, but also, it's not the same director for every episode.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure it had more to do with, like, telling him, okay, you're like a pious man. Or,
Yeah, but it like people who are told to be Vulcan and detached from their emotions, he did not understand the assignment.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes.
So remains to be seen, but I have a feeling I'm not going to like the direction that they go with this Georgiou and the Prime Universe thing.
Yeah. So what's interesting too, again, I don't think this was at all intentional, don't get me wrong, but a way you can totally read all this crazy bullshits with the mycelial network, of which there is only one. It is the same in every reality. It is like...
Oh, it's shared, yeah.
Yeah, it is reality, is this mushroom thing. And I'm too groggy, and I haven't had time to really put it together. But in my mind, there's something about, like... Again, I in no way think this was anyone's plan, but it seems like in the Star Trek universe, there is actually, because they do bring it up briefly in this one, like, Lorca's insane, but he might be right in that there might be destiny. And it's all being controlled by the mushroom things, which, of course, is the writing staff. Writers are the mycelial network of Star Trek. Because they, again, I don't think they're doing this on purpose, but, like, we see that with all these universes, the few times we've seen parallel worlds in depth, the Mirror Universe, Kelvin timeline,
all the things Worf saw,
the little peaks of Worf worlds, like, by and large, some go off the rails, but they always seem to be bending towards trying to be as similar as possible, which makes no sense. Like, there is a guiding force, and then Lorca tries to write his own crazy fan fiction where he's the good guy, or the winner, and the universe is like, no, you don't get to because you're the bad guy, you're going to fall into the sun. And if I was more awake, I'd have a cleverer way to put this. But, yeah, it's all some sort of thing about art and creation and trying to stray too far from a plan, whether or not it's a good plan.
Well, it's the same reason why we have Landry again, inexplicably out of nowhere. In that, I think the writing staff basically said, like, oh, we want the Lorca-Landry relationship to transcend universes the same way the Burnham-Georgiou relationship transcends universes.
Well, that just means that Landry is a fucking horrible sociopath, crazy bitch in every universe.
Which is silly. Like, how do they...
Yeah.
Like, this Landry didn't even seem any more evil than the Prime Landry.
I think, again, if there had been more show, we would have seen Prime Landry as a better person who over time is manipulated and turned... Like, Lorca managed to do with Prime Landry what he wanted to do with Prime Michael, but we don't get that, so all we know is Landry's a dick in both universes.
Okay, but what if, in the Mirror Universe, you are the worst person you can be? Like, the Mirror Universe, that's the universe you're at. Your bad is dialed up to the highest it could be. It's at 11. In, like, O'Brien's case, that's, like, Lorca's 2, but it's the most bad that Miles O'Brien can be. Right?
Oh, like Mirror Spock. That's as bad as Spock
That's as bad as Spock can be. In our universe, everybody's knob is set at a different place. Landry just happens to be at 11 in both places because she's a piece of shit. The Mirror Universe doesn't have to be that you're the opposite necessarily. It might just have to be that you are the most evil you could possibly be.
Here's the thing. I figured out what the difference between the Landrys is. They're dickheads in both universes.
Yes.
But Mirror Landry is actually the smarter one. Because our Landry, Prime Landry, is just like, I'm gonna take this gun and dumb shit and just go in there and get murdered by Ripper. When evil Landry's broken out of prison, she's like, great, let's fucking regroup and think this through. And Lorca's like, nah. Now she goes along with him, which is dumb. But evil Landry actually thinks things through.
Mirror Landry went out hunting corridors and Jeffrey's tubes for Michael by her fucking self like an idiot.
That's probably that could be written off to overconfidence because...
Yeah, I was gonna say that's swagger.
Yeah, it's like she's she's from that soft universe. I can take her. And she was still being more careful than Ripper.
Yeah, but I'm also certain Lorca must have told her, don't kill her.
True.
She can't be killed. I guess there was originally...
he makes an announcement that she's not to be touched.
Yeah, so that's got to be extra hard for a lady. Like, okay, I have to go subdue Michael without killing her. Good fucking luck, bitch.
Yeah.
And I guess there was, in the big fight in the throne room, there was a bit of choreo that they planned that they said, it was going to look so cool because it's going to be Lorca and Georgiou battling and Michael and Landry battling. And there's going to be a moment where Lorca turns and sees Landry's back to him and Michael on the other side. And he stabs through Landry to get to Michael. And then it was like, wait. He doesn't want to kill Michael, though. You can't do that, even though it would be cool.
He does.
Speaking of the throne room fight, though, if you go back and watch it, so whoever is fighting in the foreground of the shot has really nice choreography, and it's cut like a modern action fight film where it's like just constant jump cuts to mask like the safety procedures, like they're not actually hitting each other.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, which is funny because like Michelle Yeoh of all people is a master at fighting. It's like cinema fighting. She could totally have done it without the jump cuts, but maybe the other actors weren't as skilled. But I want, if you can stomach it, I want you to go back and rewatch that fight scene in the throne room, but only pay attention to whoever's fighting in the background. So it'll be either like Michael and
it's messy, huh?
that random. It's not messy, but they're doing it at like fight call speed.
Oh,
where it's like
They look like they're on a seesaw, just like I punch, then you punch,
and you can totally see the other actor like moving away from the punch. Exactly what you'd expect to see in like a stage fight, but because like they're only doing the cuts to make the foreground fight look cool,
right? So
the background fight just looks stupid. So go back and watch that.
There does seem to be a moment in the fight though that, and I'm not sure if I misunderstood it because it is a little hectic, but it does seem like there's a moment where it looks like Landry maybe is about to kill Michael and Lorca stops her by like slashing her.
Yeah. I thought she was dead, and then she
got
back up at the end.
Yeah, and then she's
I was like, oh no, did I miss Landry? Oh, there she is. She's fine. But then she gets blown up in the sun or something.
Yeah. So actually, you mentioned Michelle Yeoh though. I don't know if you saw it in your research or any of the games. Was that actually her foot?
Oh, when she kicked up really high? Yeah, I don't know.
Because I feel like that's definitely something she could do.
I'm sure it is. I don't know if how would you otherwise like block that?
CG in a foot.
Well, no, just have a puppet leg that someone's behind her, like right under her ass, going.
Well, I think she is shot from like the waist up, so you could totally have had like a fake leg or another actor.
Can you imagine though the offense you would cause to Michelle Yeoh if you were like, okay, we're gonna just put in a stunt leg
for
here?
all I know, she's been doing this for years, and people who do this kind of work for years, their joints go faster. So for all I know, she just can't anymore. Like she's not that old, but she's been.
I think she can.
Yeah, so do I, but I would say there's...
And I would let her destroy me any day, just so we're clear.
Like, I hope it was her foot. It's a great kick.
It's a great foot, I thought you were going to say. So we're like, well, things got weird here.
All right, Quentin. Can I share a fan theory that I came up with?
Yes.
All right, so this kind of goes back to something Chris said.
Wait, I have a question though. Does it count as a fan theory, knowing that you've already seen this whole series?
No. This is not something that's in.
This is outside of.
This is a new thing I'm coming up with right
go ahead.
now.
I just wanted to make sure.
This is off the cuff.
All right.
Okay, so Chris, you mentioned that, and it's established that the mycelial network transcends universes. It's universal. It's ultra universal.
Which is why this problem would destroy all universes at once.
It's basically the skeleton of the multiverse.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's established. Another thing that's established is that the way you can tell things are from one universe versus the other is based on their quantum signatures.
Yeah.
So there's differences between objects from one universe versus another object at the quantum level. Here is my fan theory. That the mycelial network interacts with matter in different universes in different ways depending on its quantum properties.
Signature?
Yeah,
that tracks.
So in the mirror universe, the mycelium interacts with it and creates as a power source. Like that's how it manifests.
I see.
It manifests itself in the mirror universe as like a source of power, and that's why they're able to harness it into that machine or whatever. In the prime universe, it interacts with it as a method of propulsion, as to be able to do the jumps. Like that's how it interacts with matter in the prime universe.
Yeah,
and it's not that the universes are being shaped by the mycelium. The qualities of the universes. So in the prime universe, we're concerned with exploration, and we're influenced to be interested in exploration because the mycelium is exerting that type of force on us. And in the mirror universe, they're interested in power and being evil and everything because the mycelium is influencing them.
What about Klingons in the normal universe?
It doesn't matter. We like Klingons and it doesn't matter, right? It's
good.
it's just the direction of the universe is dictated based on the properties of how the mycelium interacts with that universe is matter.
So very Terran-centric, Jake.
Yeah,
because that's how Star Trek has always been.
Because that's how Star Trek is. And here is the crazy thing. We're gonna go off the rails here.
Love that.
This is where it gets into real fan wanky tech areas.
Buckle up, Ames.
There are other multiverses. There are other universes in the multiverse. In one of them, the mycelium influences and gives you, instead of giving you like propulsion or anything, it gives you the ability to manipulate things remotely.
Yep.
In that universe, they don't call it the mycelium. They call it the Force.
I knew you were going to do that.
I don't like any of this. I don't like Jake.
How does the mycelium network influence the Kelvin timeline? Is it that it's more the extreme sports mycelium?
It must be.
Really likes motorcycles?
Well, like what you got to think about, like what's unique about the Kelvin timeline?
Motorcycles.
Okay.
I'm now picturing a bunch of just little happy mushroom people on little they're on little Vespas.
Well, extreme sports actually not bad because then we see space fencing. And we see what's his ass plummeting to his death because he was like so excited about
skydiving.
Yep.
And
so yeah, it's funny because it's really, I feel like 2009 we were past the like X Games era. Like they may have technically still been going, but
they technically probably still are going.
Wow.
I would guess.
I feel like that's what the Kelvin timeline is. The X Games universe.
But here's the thing, though: if the mycelium is, if it is universal, multiverse, they've totally opened themselves up for a future Star Wars crossover.
Christ, no. Like, people have joked about Disney buying Star Trek, and it's like, you don't get to have both. You don't. Like, they don't get to have DC either.
Now, it could be a Roger Rabbit type of thing where they just kind of decide and agree that Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse are going to go skydiving together.
I can't see them ever pulling something like that.
Well, I agree, but I'm just saying
as long as it's animated.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to say earlier, though, when I was going on my weird little art tangent. If the mycelium network is, well, we know it's conscious to an extent, but if it can actually manipulate events in the multiverse, that would make some of the weird, dumb coincidence shit make more sense. And then it's like, these guys are going to kill us with their stupid sun thing. We're going to throw this evil Lorca into the Prime universe and cause all these events to happen to pull these people here to blow up the energy source and everything will be fine.
Oh, that's interesting. It's sort of self-preservation.
Yeah.
I know there's something we see in season 2 that's the mycelial network entity doing something.
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot of it specifically, but it came up in a note when like Mary Wiseman was like, what does this mean? And they're like, wait for season 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if they ever actually say outright if the mycelial network can actually influence events or, like, again, it can talk to people sometimes, but whether it can actually actively cause shit to happen in the universes. Because, again, that would make the mycelial network God.
Yeah.
Maybe the mycelial network is the wormhole aliens.
Ugh.
Maybe they're part of it.
Oh my god. What does God need with a starship? Mycelial network makes starships go. What's going on?
I don't like any of this.
But here's the thing.
Oh, well, there's still more.
All this is to say, the mirror universe is, and has pretty much always been,
Our friend.
Fan wank.
Stupid.
Oh.
It was a fun, interesting episode of TOS in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where it should have died.
I really expected Ames to say, was it?
I didn't mind Mirror Mirror. I mean, you can't think about it logically because it breaks causality and everything.
I mean, well, here's the thing. It could, if you assume that, the mirror universe was like manifested in some way from Mirror Mirror, I don't know. Maybe. But
until Enterprise.
The problem of it,
fixes that.
The problem is, and we've talked about this a lot, is the continuity. Is the fact that it's always the same people. And like in DS9, it was a joke because here's Ezri for no reason or whatever.
Joke. They spent 5 or 6 episodes.
Yeah, but it was like...
Here's a flesh and blood Vic somehow.
And like, here's the thing. When Star Trek isn't taking itself super seriously, and I feel like the writers in the 90s doing DS9 were like, yeah, we can have fun with this because it's just a TV show. It's just a TV show. We're going to have fun. It'll be fun to see the characters that we like doing things that are out of character in a silly way. And we'll work it into the story. But I feel like even they knew at the time, they had to, that when they were making those episodes, that like, okay, we got this like serious arc with the Dominion and everything, but we
need a break.
We're going to take a little diversion. We're going to do this for one episode.
They were specifically fun, and now Discovery is trying to make the Mirror Universe.
And now we're trying to, and now Discovery comes in and says like, and to be fair, I think that Enterprise started this really, where it's with their episode.
I think that was still more on the fun side.
It was more on the fun
side. Oh yeah, that was
but,
goofy as fuck.
But it was trying to like establish like a canonical continuity with TOS and everything.
True.
Anyway, but now Discovery's coming in. It's like no, this is real. Like this is serious Trek. And I'm like, I liked it better when it was just a fun diversion.
Yeah, I mean I like these episodes, but I refuse to take the Mirror Universe seriously. You can't. It's the Mirror Universe.
Yeah. You know what personally physically pains me is that apparently, so we're on episode 13 of 15 in this season.
Crazy.
We've spent 4 episodes in the Mirror Universe, which is over a quarter of the season, which is insane. And the staff basically said, like, they lamented that they didn't spend longer in the Mirror Universe. They were like, oh man, we really wanted to like play here more. Like, what else is there to even say?
You've done it.
You're not saying anything in the Mirror Universe, if you're even trying to make it a serious thing. But they realized, like, oh shit, we have 2 episodes to wrap up the Prime timeline plot right now. We do have to get back.
Yeah, like, even as the world's biggest Mirror Universe apologist, we're good. Like, we've done it. Let's get back to the Klingon War, please.
I think here's what would have been this could have been not interesting, but here's something that they could have done. Here's an alternative plot for this season. So Lorca turns out to be evil. He does take over the Empire. And we don't defeat him here. And when he's over, and then maybe this had to be a longer season. I don't know, but he's over there and he's like, listen. We've defeated all of our enemies. The rebellion's dead, but I tell you what, there are green fields, and we got the mycelial technology now. We're gonna make ourselves a jump drive, and then they go to the Prime Universe, and end up coming in thinking big swinging dick, thinking they're gonna take over it, and they got their mega ship.
I would love to see more mirror people in the Prime Universe.
Yeah, well, like imagine Lorca coming in. Now the Federation is practically defeated and everything, as we see. So we get back and it's bad times, but then who shows up? Lorca in that fucking mega ship, and he just fucking destroys the Klingons, just basically wipes them out. But he's also fighting the Federation because he just wants to take control. But we got an ace in the hole.
Is it Burnham? It's Burnham, isn't it?
It's Burnham.
No, it's not Burnham. It's
Saru.
No, it's Georgiou.
Man.
Then you can you can pit Georgiou against Lorca.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can destroy the mega ship, maybe. And the Klingons have been so destroyed that they're forced to make peace, and we just we end it there.
Got their asses kicked so hard their foreheads went smooth.
Yeah. Now, of course, this breaks continuity because in Mirror Mirror they don't know about the Mirror Universe. But yeah, because who cares? Because it would be more interesting that way. And
if it's a better story, break it.
And
break it.
And because here's the thing, like we've killed Lorca now.
Rip.
Shame.
Assumably both Lorcas.
Yeah, presumably both Lorcas. The Prime Lorca died long ago, but yeah.
Well, didn't Terran Lorca kill Prime Lorca?
So it sounds like
take his place.
Terran Lorca traded places with Prime Lorca, kind of like it's a mirror universe. It's a mirror thing with the ion storm and a transport
There could
beam.
Theoretically be another Lorca on a shuttle somewhere.
Well, I think Prime Lorca probably wound up in the mirror universe, and unlike Kirk and company, was immediately found out and killed.
Maybe. Well, but the thing is, like, if they were both escaping the exploding Baran at the time...
Oh, shit.
Like, one of them made it and one of them didn't?
One of them made it, but, like, presumably... Yeah, if they were both trying to beam somewhere, because they would have had to both be beaming at the same time.
Yep. Yeah, the level of coincidence involved is insane.
Was Lorca, were they beaming to, like, an escape shuttle or something?
No, he was beaming back to the Baran.
I bet you there's a novel.
He said he was on a planet. He was beaming back to the Baran because they're like, oh shit, Captain, we're being attacked.
Oh.
So that's when he was swapped.
Okay. Well, whatever. Either way. Yeah, so maybe Prime Lorca materialized on Mirror Baran and got blown up with the rest of the ship.
Or, yeah, something.
That'd be a good deduction.
And probably also Prime, or Mirror Burnham.
I feel like
time.
we're not supposed to think terribly hard about Prime Lorca, just like we're not supposed to think terribly hard about Mirror Discovery.
I know. That was the next thing I was going to bring up of things swapping, because they kind of even say, like, I wonder if their Discovery swapped. Yeah. And I have two thoughts on this. The obvious thought is, what a fucking shame, because I would love to see them in the Prime universe doing literally fucking anything.
Yep.
And B, a thought that I just had randomly, and this, goes back to Mirror Mirror as well, when we see the ISS Enterprise, and we see the ISS Discovery, and we see the ISS Shenzhou. Why do they have the same names? Why would they have the same naming convention when these are not their values? They don't value Discovery and Enterprise. They value, like, we see the ISS Avenger. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah,
there isn't a USS Avenger, I imagine. No.
We know there's a USS Shran. There's no way there's an ISS Shran. They're not going to name a ship after an Andorian.
I also think there is. I just don't think we ever see Mirror Discovery. It's there, we know, because Captain Killy, but it's around. It's just somewhere else, and I don't think they switch places now because they don't know about. Presumably, they don't know that spore energy can be used for travel.
Jump, yeah.
They wouldn't have a jump drive.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have been able to jump to Prime Universe.
Yeah.
It's a shame because we don't really get, like, after the first episode where Mary Wiseman gets to act her tits off and do the Captain Killy thing, she doesn't get to Captain Killy it up again.
Yeah, no, I definitely forgot that. I thought there was more.
I remembered there being way more Captain Killy. It's very disappointing.
If you go and rewrite it to do the Lorca survives and invades the Prime Universe thing, his new lieutenant could be Captain Killy. And then you get.
And for that matter, why is everyone on Discovery still in their mirror costumes after they've been rumbled? Obviously.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, they do eventually change.
I see at one point, it's like, oh, here's Mirror Owo. Oh, she died quickly. Damn. Yeah. Sorry, Owo. Oh, here's normal Owo in the same costume.
Oh, no.
I guess you could argue... This argument falls apart immediately, and I will explain how. But at first you could just be like...
That's kind.
It's like, look, they're busy, They need pants on. They're not going to stop and change.
But
except they all stop and change. Yeah, it's like, that's why it doesn't work. Like, literally within this episode, they do, at some point, get back into their original uniforms. And it's like, when did you do that?
And they just had it layered. They stripped off a layer.
I wasn't paying enough attention, or maybe it wasn't even shown, but did the livery on the ship change at any point? Like, did they actually take the time to repaint the ship again to say USS Discovery?
They can't have this episode.
It'll be the top of next episode, I bet.
Well, but like, I'm just wondering, like, did they even think about it? Do the creators even think about it, or does it just start appearing as USS Discovery?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah. It hasn't happened yet, as far as we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep that in the back of your brain for next week.
Speaking of next week, last week I mentioned that they never establish the portable agonizer.
Oh, we see one this week.
We do, but the problem is they still don't establish what the fuck it is.
You have to already have watched Mirror, Chris.
There's a point where
this show isn't for new fans.
Michael grabs it off this guy's belt and zaps him with it. But if you don't understand, because you barely see it, like I rewound, you can kind of see that, but it just looks like she swipes her hand up and suddenly Michael has electrocution powers.
That feeds into the Force theory.
There we go. But like, again, like if they ostensibly want this show to be for new and old alike, they needed to, at some point, establish the portable agonizer, and they never do. Like, I know what it is.
Maybe there's a deleted scene where somebody...
Maybe, but, it is definitely a problem I do have with it. It's like, guys, you made it important because it's the scar on Lorca's back. Michael uses it in a fight. You never told us what it was. I know what it is because I'm a nerd.
Yeah, were they expecting... No, they weren't. Because they wanted new fans.
Exactly.
They want new fans, so they can't only, address things that existing fans will know. Yeah,
and I feel like, by and large, they give enough background, but the one thing they really dropped the ball on was the portable agonizer.
Whoopsie.
Which, if it wasn't so damn important, wouldn't have fucking mattered. Because even, in the DS9 Mirror Universe episode...
She could have just pocket sanded the guy. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. But you never see a portable agonizer in DS9, as far as I remember. The portable agonizer doesn't exist in Enterprise. They've just invented the agony booth. So, the only establishment of the portable agonizer is Mirror Mirror.
Yeah, and that could have been... They could have done it so easily in the episodes where Burnham was on the Shenzhou.
Yeah.
And just had, Detmer is,
Should I agonize him and then we'll show you the prop? Here's the prop, people. We made one.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Detmer hands her the agonizer, like, go to town.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Burnham says, "No, I have better things in mind for this one."
Or maybe like
knuckles.
she agonizes somebody, and like you can see it in her face how horrible she feels about doing it.
Yeah.
And then she cries.
Obviously.
But then she's like, she
and then
does
bangs
it.
Tyler.
Yeah. Then she does it, and she's like, well, that kind of made me feel bad, but you turned it down.
No.
Some people are into that. Light shocks, it's a thing.
So I wonder who is actually, other than Killy, who else would be on Mirror Discovery? Because
Owo was on the Charon.
Well, Saru definitely isn't.
Detmer's on the Shenzo. So, like, is it...
Yeah, Detmer's on the Shenjo.
It might be in the next time we see Mirror Universe. Spoilers, there's going to be more of this fucking shit in season 2 or 3? One of them.
3, I think.
3? God, wow.
4?
3.
I think it's 4.
Is it 4? Fuck
It's 3 or 4.
But we see Reese, I believe, at some point. But I don't remember seeing him now.
But yeah, no, you're right, because, Saru is on the Shenjo.
Who?
Detmer's on the Shenjo.
What joke are you making?
John Connor's father.
No, the Reese that's on this show, Jake.
I didn't even know there was a Reese on this show.
Yeah, it's the Asian chap.
Oh.
Which is another problem with this show.
But yeah, so there's...
That we don't know anyone's name.
Yes,
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
How dare there be one?
But yeah, so...
How dare his name be raised?
We know Detmer and Saru are on the Shenjo, along with Connor, briefly. Yeah, Owo and...
Which one is...
It's short for Owoshaku.
Of course.
It's short...
The standard shortening of Owoshaku.
The ops person on Discovery. Detmer's counterpart.
Is that like
the black girl.
Here's the thing, like, I noticed that Saru addressed her as Owoshaku.
He did, yes.
Which... it was not introduced as, like, she hasn't gotten enough introduction to be on a Owoshaku basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I laugh because I guess, like, even though it's a great speech that Saru gets to give, everyone loves that speech. Good for him, taking charge, standing up for, what Star Trek is about. Yeah. Hooray, fucking finally. That the writer, Ted Sullivan, said in his script, I included lots of glances between the bridge crew members to show them working unitedly. And I'm like, we don't know who any of these people are, Teddy. Yeah. None of them.
See, Robot Head and...
No, Robot Head was on the Shenjo. They're dead as far as we know. Or are you talking about Arium?
He's talking about Nebula.
Yeah, not that Robot Head.
Sorry, I think of...
a new
You're
Robot
thinking
Head.
of Daft Punk. You're not talking... He was thinking Daft Punk. You're talking about Nebula.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. See, you say Robot Head, I think Daft Punk. I don't think of Arium.
That's true. Well, I mean, I understood. I totally forgot Daft Punk was a thing.
Oh, I love Daft Punk.
The character of the band.
I must be the only person on Earth
but I'm just asking.
that knows half these names, and I include the writers.
Oh, yeah, the writers definitely don't know anybody's name.
Oh, yeah, I remember when this first came out just being like, are we going to learn any of their fucking names ever?
Nah.
Yeah, I don't think I learned any... Like, they say them a little more in Season 2, which I think is why I remember them finally.
I know their names because Ames plays timelines
or
whatever.
And
she tells us their names. That's it.
But to be fair, it's not like this is the first time Star Trek has forgotten that they had a bridge crew member.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
you know?
Okay, but...
Who are you thinking of?
I mean, we just finished watching
Mayweather. Yeah, that's our next...
Obviously.
Okay, but like...
Save that.
Okay, but like... TOS, who's on the bridge?
Yeah, that was a
you
great
can name...
fucking segue.
It was, but it's too soon.
Too soon!
But really... When until now have you not known the name of every person on the fucking bridge?
Being fair.
Okay.
There were frequent times Walter or George weren't there, and it was some random guy you've never heard of at the helm.
But they were
characters. They usually died.
Yeah.
I think the difference is prior shows since TNG, to be fair, because I wouldn't count TOS in this, but the shows since TNG have been largely ensemble based.
Yeah, they've been about the bridge crew. Discovery is about Michael Burnham's story.
It's about Michael Burnham, and it's a much more plot driven show than other
What's
ones.
interesting is that Lower Decks was supposed to is ostensibly about the Lower Decks crew, but you still know the bridge crew the first day.
Mm-hmm.
You know who they all are.
Yeah, but I'd even argue that's somewhat of an ensemble. Obviously you have the core Lower Decks quartet, but and then later it's expanded. But I also feel like they do a good job of giving the bridge crew distinctive personalities and things to do.
Well, what's weird about this one, I think, you're making me think of this now, is like, we don't know the bridge crew, but we know a lot of other people that are like we know a scientist who works in the bowels of the ship. You know, Stamets is a big part of the show. Like,
and he's not the chief engineer. That's right.
As far as we know, yeah.
I don't remember.
Why would he's a
no
mycologist.
This is taking the first season of TNG route of not giving you a chief engineer.
Yeah, we never meet the CMO.
Until further notice, it's Argyle.
Yeah, well, and it's still insane to me that TNG thought they could just not have a chief engineer character. Like, what?
Well, especially like I think once they started using
Geordi
just like having engineering problems regularly.
Yeah, like
which is what you do in a Star Trek.
Yeah,
show.
literally, that's Star Trek.
With this, you can get away with it because they've replaced the warp core with the mycelium network. So even though he's not the chief engineer, quote unquote, Stamets fills the same plot.
Yeah, there's somebody else manning the warp core.
But we don't none of us know if there even is a chief engineer on.
There
ship.
must be, right?
And we don't know who that is.
There's a warp drive.
We eventually get one.
We know there's a warp drive, so there must be
in the war,
a warp core, and there must be somebody that's down there banging on it with a hammer.
Yeah.
We need to talk really quickly about the glossary here, because I've heard both of you do this. It's a mycelial network. Is powered by mycelium.
Yes, yeah. I think I've been just kind of throwing words around willy-nilly. You're
Both
right.
of you.
I don't give a shit.
It's pronounced Stamets.
That's also correct.
Yeah.
Fuck, if I said Stamets again...
Every time!
Shit.
Leaving this in.
Yeah.
I haven't said fucking Stamets, haven't I? Fuck.
Every time.
I've been calling you that for years.
And the thing is, I was just going to say, the thing is, I'm not here correcting you. It doesn't matter to me. But mycelium and mycelial, it's bothering me a little.
Yeah, but yeah, we do have like characters that are recurring, but it's just weird that most of them aren't the bridge crew. Saru's like the exception. And even then, he's much less consequential this season than I realized. He gets to do a lot more starting next season.
Spoilers. I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah.
I'm joking.
But this show does have a decent ensemble, but I think you're right. I think they're not focusing on
the usuals.
They're telling a different story, which I do enjoy doing something different. It just means that I'm constantly like, wait, that person, okay, bye.
Yeah, we're used to Star Trek doing something different.
Yeah, but I feel like even in other shows when you did have characters that were sort of not main characters but showed up regularly,
Barkley?
People like Broccoli, Guinan. Like, the people that would listed as special guest stars in the credits.
Oh my god, do you think that Guinan ever had special nights at 10 Forward that were called Whinin' with Guinan?
Oh,
please.
No. What do you think Guinan's doing during the time of Discovery? Because she should be alive.
Hanging out with Mark Twain, isn't she?
Yep, Mark Twain in the 23rd century.
You know what?
Mark Twain in the 23rd century!
Let's not pursue this. Because if we do, the universe is going to hear us, and we're going to get, like, The Adventures of Guinan, which...
The young Indiana Jones.
There's so much potential, but they'll blow it.
That's it. Like, that could be interesting if it was almost like a... What's the word?
I have no idea what you're going for.
Fuck. An anthology series where, like, every episode is a different time and place. Like, there's not, like, just a singular... Super episodic, and the one connecting thing is Guinan. And they're like, yeah, 1 week, it's Guinan on Earth in 1870.
Did you just say singular?
No.
Are you Mirror Chris?
I don't think I did. Like, just a singular. You know, and then another one is like Guinan on I don't know, fucking...
You heard it, didn't you?
I heard it.
Andor in 2102 or something. Like, that could actually be interesting.
Let's just do a feature film.
No.
And that would be a karate master.
Well, no, because I want a couple of stories, not one.
Well,
okay, but if we do it that way, can Angela Lansbury show up at her living room? I know she's dead, but if she wasn't, could she show up and be like, one time, Guinan got into some real fun hijinks.
I forgot about that stupidity.
I met Guinan when she was dating my nephew, one of my 3,000 nephews.
I have no idea what's going on right now.
That's okay. This was pretty. Yeah,
late Murder She Wrote when Angela wanted to do less episodes, so they had fewer. So they had the premise be.
A bitch.
Huh?
I'm a bitch.
No, it's cool. I mean, honestly, this joke was specifically for Chris anyway.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I feel like, who listens to this show the most? It's us. We do. So I might as well give Chris something
there were
nice.
some late episodes where, like, the whole premise was just, like, it's a story Fletcher is telling the audience.
But it's
And
usually
she's not-
someone she knows,
Yeah.
but she's not in the story, so she just has these, like, bookends where she's
yeah.
like, well, my cousin Raphael was in quite a spot.
Well, it could be...
Oh, we're still describing.
Whoopi Goldberg is bookending.
Dude, I would
But
fucking
then
love that.
Young guy and an actor plays her.
That is literally how the young
Yeah.
Indiana Jones
There we
Adventures
go.
was.
And actually, even with that, you could also have some episodes starring Whoopi Goldberg as modern-day Guinan.
I don't know.
We've gotten really off course here.
Here's a question.
Yes.
So we're in this phaser fight in a corridor or some shit.
I didn't like that.
Since all the mirror people have bad eyesight, shouldn't the phaser fire be literally blinding them before even that fucking flash grenade comes out?
Good point.
Why use a flash grenade, not just a regular grenade?
I thought that too.
Like, why-
because the plot
Right.
demanded it.
Why do we want to blind
That-
them? Why don't we just kill them?
I did dislike that whole exchange because it's badly thought out in multiple ways. Like the grenade thing, the whole like, of course the shield's going to go down eventually. It's like, that was the weakest part of the episode. It was bad. Things just happened for the sake of it has to this way or we don't have a plot.
Whoops.
You know, I want to see the Ryan George. Why did it happen like that? Hey, gotta get all the way off my back about that one.
Okay.
Hold that thing.
Well, and the other thing, the mirror universe
Love him.
clearly
I know.
suffers.
Same.
The mirror universe is so stupid because it clearly suffers from the same thing that every villain in fiction does, which is you don't kill your enemy.
Yep.
You bring them before you so you can speechify at them for a
Tell them
while.
their plan.
I have a gun in my room. I'll go get it. We can shoot them together.
At least this time they actually like semi-address that with Lorca being like, I really want you to bone me.
With Lorca being like, you caught me monologuing.
He
God.
doesn't need to bone Giorgio. He could just
No.
kill Giorgio.
Yeah, he didn't have to wait. Like, the minute she was brought in, he was like, hey, thanks. Bang.
Or throw her into the sun like he
Yeah.
was joking he was going to do.
Yeah, but he
Stamets.
probably wanted to like open a fortune cookie that said like "bang bang, you're dead" or some fucking
Oh,
stupid
is
shit.
Mira Lorca also from a family of
I was
fortune?
gonna say,
I kind
Mira
of
Lorca-
assumed only Mira Lorca was. I don't know.
Mira Lorca actually secretly fucking hates fortune cookies. That was like the hardest part of blending in. He had to be like, you eat them, people would walk out, oh, poo, poo, oh, like,
Nobody
fucking
can
things.
hate fortune cookies. They're so
They're
delicious.
good.
They're so good.
What the fuck actually was Burnham's plan then? So she brings Lorca to Giorgio. Nope, other way around. Brings Giorgio to Lorca saying, I got her for you, friend. I'm on your side now. But it's all a ruse because kickings?
So
She
basically,
knew-
The
she had
plan
wor- she
was
had-
kicking.
She had worked
Yeah.
this out, yes, but she'd also worked out with
Saru.
Saru what they were going to do.
Saru doesn't come and help in this fight in the throne room?
no, but he
No.
knows that if she's in the throne room, she'll
Like,
be bringing down the...
That's the signal.
So right now, all of this hinges on Burnham not getting murdered by Mirror Universe monsters.
Yeah, it does, not being murdered, and also Giorgio can't get murdered because they need the two of them to fight.
Yeah. So
It's a terrible
basically,
plan.
Terrible plan.
She-
Not clever.
No, it
Lorca-
wasn't. Giorgio says it was a good plan.
Lorca is so horny, he literally falls for his own plan. Because his plan was to have Michael bring him to the Emperor to kick all this off. And now Michael brings the Emperor to him to foil him. Like, he falls for his own scheme.
Yeah, his scheme was also bad.
It was, and he falls for it because he's too horny.
I
Like
mean,
he wakes up all of his followers
Yep.
who have, for some reason, being. Okay, I wrote this down. I don't know if this is correct. I wrote down being tortured for a year and 212 days.
That's what he said, yeah.
Why not? How are any of them still fucking alive? They should have been killed.
Well, remember, are you saying, like, the Booth should have killed them, or they should have killed them as an act?
Both.
Yeah. Well, the Booth doesn't kill them because, as we find out in Enterprise, the way the Agony Booth works is that it keeps shifting what nerves it's attacking.
Sure.
So that's
Anyway,
why it doesn't kill
there's
you.
no reason to keep them alive for
No.
a year and 212 days.
Not
That's
at
not
all.
making a statement to anyone because they assume Lorca is dead.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up and wakes everybody up and says, haha, I've got a plan. And they're like, what?
And the plan is the plan he
Wing
should have
it.
used the first time.
My plan is wing it.
Gas everyone.
Flash grenade. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's...
yeah. So there's, I don't know. I know that there's a name for this specific trope.
Holding the idiot ball?
That's the exact one. No, that's exactly the one. Because,
That's a good trope.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned it before, which is why I was...
Yeah,
I
but
had it
it's
back.
basically the idea that this plan only works because the writers suddenly made all the characters really stupid.
Yeah.
I love Saru makes a line when, Michael's on the phone and says, Lorca's not Lorca, he's Mirror Lorca. And Saru says, why didn't I sense this? And I'm like, yeah, why?
And I love that they don't give an answer.
They
By
don't.
love, I mean it's kind of annoying.
What the fuck, Saru? This is your one job.
Yeah, that's the one thing they never do adequately address. Like, they address that it was a problem, but don't actually give an answer. I'm like, guys.
Yeah, it's like the fucking Defiant loophole, or red herring. It's like, let's keep looking for this USS Defiant info. For no reason now. It's done.
Well, I mean, that's fine. Like, because that's a thing I will accept, because when they're in that universe, they don't know that any of this other stuff is happening, so the Defiant seems like a totally cromulent thing to go look for.
Cromulent's a great word.
It is.
So I buy that. I think that's actually more realistic writing
than what we actually get.
Well, especially that fucking throne room fight, because if you stop and think about it for 1 minute, exactly like you said,
kickings.
It's a terrible fucking plan, and it only works because the writers, it
only works because they know Michelle Yeoh is here.
The writers made Lorca, because Lorca would be stupid to find himself in this situation. Burnham would be stupid for thinking that this was a good plan. Same with Giorgio.
Everyone gets a taste of idiot ball.
But it magically works because the writers wanted it to work, and I can't see past that. It's like it just makes the whole thing very stupid.
Yeah, there's definitely some like typical action movie conveniences in this one that, like I said, I find overall, again, I've been having fun in the Mirror Universe, but there's definitely some weak points here with the plans. They're all ill-conceived.
The writers are just not very good, I think, is the answer.
What I find funny, what somebody should have said, there was like, Saru is like, oh, well, my species is well known for sensing the coming of destiny, the whole thing. And somebody should have gone, didn't you just say you never sensed Lorca was evil, though? Shut up!
Did you notice when Stamets died?
Okay, but here's the
Not
thing.
Stamets, Culber.
Lorca,
Stamets is alive.
He says he can sense death, not evil. Lorca hasn't killed any of them.
No, I know, but
his ganglia come out at one point when the other episode when Tyler came in.
Yeah.
And we realized they're in the Mirror Universe and a lot of stuff was happening.
Yeah.
His ganglia's come out.
Tyler does do a kill.
Yeah.
He kills old Hugh.
Oh, it was after he killed Hugh. Yeah.
Oh, we got it. We got a proper thanks, Hugh.
Yeah,
yes,
we
that's
did.
true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I again, flaws in the last quarter.
A lot of flaws.
Quarter of the episode aside, I still had fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun episode, but it's not like a lot of this show. I just don't think you can't think about it too much.
No.
But it wants you to think so hard.
I think
feel
about
like
weird.
the tone of this episode is just wrong for what they're giving us.
It's smart TV for stupid people. That's how it's written.
Dang.
It's written
What
not like I feel like a lot of older Trek, up to a point, was writing TV smartly and intending it, and giving the audience credit for being able to understand things. Whereas I feel like this show doesn't is written to a less savvy television audience. And
Media
it feels like it needs to really lay it on thick.
Media literacy has shit the bed in a big way.
Yeah, and maybe it's not the show's fault. Maybe it's just our times. But...
Yeah, whenever they have a technobabble scene, as they had another technobabble scene between Stamets and Tilly.
So bad.
And I hate them every fucking time because none of what they're saying makes sense because it's all made up jargon, but you're forced to watch it for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Well, and the tricky part with the technobabble here too is obviously it's always been technobabble, but we know that with a lot of the older shows, it was maybe kind of sort of based in something that is theoretically possible if you squint and tilt your head at physics. The mycelial network is magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the other...
We can ride the wave. What wave?
Right, because
like a balloon.
They never established there was a wave. There was never a mycelium wave as a thing.
This is a wave because things getting blowed up. Blowed ups causes waves.
Oh, that causes waves? Shock wave?
We all know that.
But it's going to be a wave of spores.
Wave.
A waves, yeah.
Wave.
But yeah, no, I mean, the thing that irritates me most, I think, about the technobabble scenes, though, is the way they're written so that, a character says a thing, and then the other character, jumps in and finishes.
It's a yes and.
It's like they all went to improv classes together.
Well, I think maybe that's the problem. Because of the characters they're focusing on. Because in the past, it's usually you've got the technobabble person whose job is to
usually Jadzia.
Yeah. Or in TNG, it's Data or Geordi. Sometimes both, but they're still... Each one has their own discipline. So one will technobabble about one thing and another about another. But this is like everyone's the techno guy, so they're all like, ah!
And we'll only get more and more of it as the show progresses.
Yep.
Hooray.
Yeah, I think the reason, like, it's not so bad in this episode, but I'm tainted by...
It's better than the circling one. The other
Oh
week.
my god,
Yeah,
that one gave me the fucking
nausea.
spins.
Vertigo. That's the word I wanted.
Man, you know what else would give me vertigo? Being in a zero gravity room on a starship.
Aww. So anyway, we learned Owoshiku's name this week. You
Yeah.
know whose name we barely ever know is Mayweather's in
Who?
Enterprise. Yeah, who, right?
Uh,
And I'm so sorry that a lot of our best
Poor
and worst
Mayweather.
moments of Mayweather, they're going to be stretches, but that's not our fault. That's Star Trek Enterprise's fault.
Anthony Montgomery, for some reason, bless him, when they did the big, 50th anniversary special years ago, he showed up to present in person.
He looked great.
He did. A lot of people showed up in, a little video thing. Anthony Montgomery, who those pricks barely gave anything to do, was like, you know what? I will show up in person.
They probably paid him, and he probably didn't have much else going on.
What was the buffet like?
here's the thing.
I'd go to that.
Fuck
Was
yeah.
he a great actor? No.
Unclear. We'll never know.
Yeah.
But
They
that's the
didn't give
thing,
him
we
anything to
never
do.
got
Well,
a chance.
Jadzia wasn't a great actor
Right, exactly.
at the beginning
Like,
of DS9, but
Jadzia,
she had chances to grow.
Jolene, these are people that kind of started out rough actors, but developed into better actors and characters as the show progressed, but they just never gave poor Mayweather the opportunity.
Should've-
So,
Yeah.
I was just going to look up Anthony Montgomery to see what he's been up to.
Oh no.
And, oh no, not that. My phone knows I'm a Star Trek nerd. But even then, the Anthony Montgomery it suggested first wasn't him. It's some other Anthony Montgomery who's a football player.
Who somehow has still had more screen time on Star Trek Enterprise.
Oh, he looks good with a beard. He's 53? Wow.
Anyway, Caitlin, you want to get started on Mayweather moments? Could you think of any?
Are we good or bad?
Good. We always start with good.
I don't know. Good moments. Ultimately, there's two sides to this coin, but he really does try to help his family when he gets on board their ship.
Wow,
Like
not
it-
even on my list.
Huh?
Didn't even make my list.
Well, I mean, he was trying to be a helpy helperton, you know?
Helpy Helperton.
And, I mean, ultimately, his help wasn't really wanted, but he was trying. Thought that was good. I don't know. He was, he was in the captain's chair a couple times. So technically he was acting captain. At least, 3 times?
Wow, wasn't that a joke scene?
No, it happened more than once, didn't it?
I remember
he
one.
had the con a few times.
So I had to look up what that meant, have the con, because I wasn't sure if it was con or com. So
Is it short for something?
it is not.
It's short for
No, it's
control,
not. It
isn't
isn't. No. I think it's a naval term, or it's at least certainly a military term.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone says you have control of when you have the con, I thought control.
Mm-hmm.
I used to think com, like you have the communicate, like you have the comms.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that you have control of everybody that makes the ship go. So you have control of navigation, engineering, and whomever.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you're in charge of steering this thing.
And no
Con
idea
is-
why it's called con.
It's because of the military.
Oh.
I
Well,
don't know why. It's CONN, but
I
there's
was-
also 25 other spellings.
I was with you when you looked it up. It's adapted from Conning Tower,
Oh, thank you.
which was
Ah.
part of the ship.
Oh,
There you go.
Neat.
So, anyway, he had the con, and now thankfully I know what that means. Third thing, those guns.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I struggled here. I also had the Horizon thing on there too.
Really? Because that's on my bad
I
list.
thought I remembered that
It's on my bad
The-
list.
because when they were he upgraded their phasers or installed phasers or he did something.
Yeah, he
that
upgraded
let
something.
allowed them to defeat those pirates.
Yes.
And his brother bitched about it the whole time.
Yeah, his brother was a little bitch. So I was like, that's kind of nice.
The louder they bitch, the harder they fall.
I liked the 0G room.
It's a fun room.
I
that's
thought that was a
cute.
cool little thing.
And didn't he use it to help somebody with their anxiety one time or something? Or didn't he welcome somebody to it with him one time?
I mean, I think he and Trip might have hung out
is
there.
that
I
what
think he showed it to someone in Broken Bow.
Yeah, that's the only time I
And
can remember
then
it coming up.
we see it again when he's learned his dad died and he's just sitting there by
Just
himself.
hiding.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was remembering the Broken Bow time when he goes there with Trip. But I just think it's a cool little thing. It was a nice thing, I guess.
Yeah, something the show could have, done more with.
We saw it twice. That's more than enough.
Man, I got nothing for this poor guy.
Not even those guns.
He mined that comet with
Yeah.
Reed that time. That was pretty cool.
Good
He
for
was
him.
one of the first people to walk on a comet.
And he made a snowman, and I love that.
Yeah, it was cute. Didn't go well.
No.
They had to get their asses saved by the Vulcans, but it's good. Had fun.
So, as I believe I said at the time, I had thought Fortunate Son and Horizon were the same episode for years.
They kind of are a little bit.
In a lot of ways, yeah. But he does help talk down the idiot Ryan in Fortunate Son.
Also not my bad list.
Yeah, I'd say that's not my bad.
What, talking the guy down at the end?
The other part of Fortunate.
Oh, yeah, the other
Everything
part,
up
sure.
until that part.
Yeah, but at the end he comes to his senses and is like, dude, stop being an asshole. And yes, the modifications to the Horizon do end up helping out in the end. In the end. And, and this is a problem that's faced by all Star Trek pilots is they can never really show the ships doing anything fancy because of tech and budgets and scale. But they're always like, you're such a great pilot. And he's a fine pilot. And an example we have, again, it's not shown well, but he, figures out this crazy alien shuttle / submarine in Azadi Prime.
Oh, that's a good one.
He did have
That
to
actually
figure
is a
out
good
how to
one.
pilot that thing.
And he comments that even though I think it's Trip whining like these chairs are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That he's like, you don't have a bug ass.
Yeah.
You have a nice supple Trip ass, which I
Yes.
want to get a handful of. But
Honorable mention, those fucking guns.
Wait, no honorable mentions. Ames hasn't gone yet.
yeah, but all those fucking guns has come up already.
Yeah, that's
Right,
true. And I do have one other one, but yes, I'll let you
Yeah.
finish.
Meantime, I've got a couple near the tippy top of my list that haven't come up yet.
Yay.
The first is during the crossing, he remembers something that happened previously in another episode,
Rare.
which was that in the catwalk they could hide out. And he goes in the catwalk in the crossing, and the wisps can't get him in there.
Yeah.
And he's like, aha, catwalk. Everyone should hide in the catwalk. And good for him for figuring that out.
Good job,
And he's too
Mayweather.
sexy for his shirt because of those guns.
So sexy it
Damn
hurts.
guns. I wrote down, and I don't really remember this well, but I did write it down, that he comes up with the sensor grid idea to find the Romulan drone ship.
Who does
In
he?
United.
I didn't
Good for
remember
him.
that.
I think he did.
Ames is just making shit up because she knows that,
I
none
can't
of us
prove us
remembers
wrong.
well enough that it's not true.
One thing I know he definitely does is in the catwalk, which I mentioned a second ago, is that he reminds Trip, put toilets in here.
Right!
And it's his doing that there are toilets, because otherwise Trip would have
They're not-
fucking forgot.
But they are not shitting in buckets.
But where did
God.
the toilets go to?
Into space.
Did they have to install plumbing up there?
No, they just carved a hole in the ship.
I mean, here's the thing. It was probably a bucket, but we know that in a nacelle you've got that beam of energy that'll disintegrate
Oh.
shit. So they probably just dumped it into the beam.
There you go.
Ooh, I like that idea.
My other honorable mention is for Mirror Mayweather, who knows how to pick the winning side.
Way to go, Mayweather.
Wasn't he playing both sides?
No, he was playing Hoshi. Well, Hoshi was, you know what I mean.
She will double cross him.
Oh, almost definitely.
Yeah, in the end he went with Hoshi, but he wasn't with
I think he was with her a lot longer than was made clear.
perhaps.
I'm willing to give it a go. Once again, I can't prove it's not true. Oh, no, bad things. All right, wait, yeah, you're done. Okay,
I'm
bad
done.
things. He just shows up at his brother's ship and
Yes.
starts acting like he fucking runs the place?
Yes.
What the fuck, Mayweather?
Thank you.
Oh my god, dude, there's just not a lot of bad things. I feel
There's
like...
not a lot of things.
Yeah,
True.
I feel like I have a whole section of my list that's times when Mayweather should have done a thing, but the writers wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
Well, times when his extreme piloting skills could have come into play only for Archer to be like, I'll take care of this.
Yeah, fucking hell,
Fucking
yeah.
Archer.
It
Well, that's not
definitely-
Mayweather's fault.
No, I know, but it's
there's
a
no
writer's.
bad
It's the
moments.
writer's fault.
He definitely has the shortest memory alpha entry of anyone, including poor Hoshi.
I just
I
read
think they including Porthos.
I just read the Porthos.
No, Porthos is probably very
excellent
extensive.
one. The thing is, they go through every time Porthos appears and does literally anything. Like Porthos was sitting on the bed, and when Archer left, Porthos raised his head. Literally those moments.
more than Mayweather did in that episode.
So when I was looking him up earlier, I'm typing in the character name, and I start, what I usually do is I look up the character and memory alpha.
Yeah.
I start typing, Travis Mayweather, memory. It suggested beta first. because it's probably the longer article.
More fanfic than other stuff. Do you have more negative?
Yes,
I'm thinking because so much of that show is just it was in one ear and out the other. I don't know that I have anything else. I
got spares for you.
Oh, thank you. That would be great.
I can go because I got a few.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
I got a few. These ones aren't great, but whatever. Yeah, in Fortunate Son, basically everything leading up to the point where he talked the guy off the ledge, he was like siding with that fucking asshole, and that asshole tried to get everyone. Well, didn't try to get everyone killed. He knew they'd get rescued, but
he blew a hole in the wall of their cargo bay, which would have killed them.
Yeah, but I think his assumption was that Enterprise would come back and rescue them, as opposed to didn't he do that to prevent Enterprise from chasing
following them?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. So it wasn't. Yeah, it was at best aggravated assault, not attempted murder.
I'd like to see a lawyer's take on that.
Yeah, that's true.
Where's legal?
You could probably get away with it. I'm gonna say, the stupid captain's chair scene, where like he was given the con. I know. I was saying it to annoy you. He was given the con and made a big fucking deal about the sitting in the big chair. It wasn't even like a Mayweather thing. It was like the writers thing. They fucking infantilized him in that scene, and it was just annoying.
It was an awkward scene. Do you remember what episode that's in?
I don't fucking know.
I'll find it later.
But yeah, that's a bummer.
Just find any picture of him sitting in the chair.
There's the one time that I can think
Hoshi
of.
participated in it too, because she's like, go ahead, Travis, do it.
Well, maybe we should look at this as his comeuppance for all those pranks.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, he's definitely the one that made that ruined the chair because Archer later and he tripped to fix it.
There you go.
He lowered it. I love that idea. Or raised it. I forget what the issue was.
Lowered it or raised it. He put it on the top of MIT.
Yeah.
Take that.
And third one. Oh, should I go with this one or should I go with my? I haven't decided if I should.
We have spares because Caitlin didn't need all of it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Please feel free to.
Can I give an extra one then to make up? Okay,
unless Chris has it too.
So one I'm gonna give.
We have repeats all the time.
And this one's kind of the joke one. This is one I wanted to put third, but I have a real third one too. Is never fucking pulling a prank, despite being told that he was a fucking prankster. He's never given and I don't know how you find a screenshot of him not playing pranks, but
any screenshot of him doing literally anything. No pranks.
Not playing a prank here. Photoshop a whoopee cushion in his hand.
He's got like a flower.
One of those boutonnieres, put it where his delta should be.
A hand buzzer.
Oh my God, we have to do this.
I can't Photoshop. So
no, Chris, go to Paint. You have your mission. I don't care. Don't make that face. It doesn't have to be good. Make it bad.
It's not gonna be.
I know. It's gonna be more fun that way.
Yeah, and then my other one is being involved with Gannett.
Yeah. Getting so thoroughly tricked by
fuck, that was the thing that was my second one.
Well, there you go.
That's the journalist girl who, he fucking is just like, my big dick isn't letting me not show you all these secure areas. Okay, that was my, sorry.
And then
huge dick, sorry, Abe.
And because at first, she's a spy for Terra Prime, but then later we find out she was actually a spy for Starfleet, and it's just so fucking stupid.
It is.
But the fact that he was just being led around the ship by her, showing her all these top secret things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, because there really was a second one I was thinking of, and that was it. I had it 5 minutes ago. I had it, and then just.
Yeah. So his brother did have a point about what he was doing on Horizon.
Yeah, sure did.
The whole Gannett subplot.
Sure did.
Loud, Chris.
Maybe confirm her credentials? Because that's the thing. It's like...
Oh, I think he confirmed her credentials.
But I feel like they get her because basically Reed shows up and was like, I called that paper. She doesn't work for... he didn't do the most basic security check before showing her around. And then this is...
He didn't even Snopes her? God damn it. Wow.
And then the, as I put it, work out instead of jork it story from Bound.
Remind me?
In Bound, the horrible...
Oh, you missed Bound.
Fucking, the one with the Orion slave girls. It's like...
when the girls are on the ship?
Yeah, and he's telling a story about how, there was a time his family met Deltons. And his old man was like, just work out whenever you're feeling horny, basically.
And that explains those guns.
Yeah, it's like, Like Travis
He was horny a lot.
Travis did not need to hear that story. Also, it's weird your dad taught you about being horny. Like,
well, it could be worse. They could be monitoring each other's porn use.
that's true.
Why not just bang the Deltons or anybody?
Yeah, they consent.
Yeah, I say the Deltons would be all for
I
it.
think he was like 15 at the time.
Deltons would be all for it. What are you talking about?
Don't go to Justice Planet. All my top 3 have been said already, because it was the Gannett thing, just all of Fortunate Son, and taking over his brother's ship in Horizon. But I got spares for
I
you
really
people.
thought you were going to say, and never pulling pranks.
I entirely forgot. I knew one of you would get no, never.
Of course.
Pranks, so that was covered.
Well, hit us with those extras.
I got some extras. There's in the 7th when he goes down with, I'm gonna say Archer. That seems right. Archer and T'Pol to go grab that defector Minos. And they leave him alone with Mayweather, and Minos immediately escapes. And it's like, Mayweather! Bad!
Well, in his defense, he's not used to having to leap into action because...
Alright, I'm also going to say, just because this was a stupid one, I didn't like, it's because I have nothing else.
Yeah.
Trying to get Reed to watch Wages of Fear during movie night by promising explosions, even though I don't think Reed would like this movie.
Yeah,
No,
no,
but
not
Reed does love explosions, though.
But Reed does love explosions. That's just a dumb, tiny moment. But I got a whole bunch that I can concatenate into one. And these are the times Mayweather got sidelined or should have done a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here's the list.
Yes.
For some reason, Trip is the one to fly the Suliban ship in Broken Bow instead of your fucking pilot.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was comatose for all of Strange New World when Trip was screaming at walls.
Well, I don't feel like that's his fault.
During Terra Nova, he was geeking out so hard about that expedition, but never got to play into the episode at all.
Nope.
The Terra Nova expedition?
Yes.
Oh.
Not the one of the South Pole.
Oh.
The one to a planet.
Oh.
In 2 days and 2 nights, he breaks his stupid leg off camera whilst rock climbing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He gets thoroughly tricked and captured by the repair station in Dead Stop.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, that doesn't quite fall in this, but that's still a different.
Yeah.
This is a thing that happened.
That's still a thing that happened. That sidelined Mayweather for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, that's what it's really about. It's really more that the writers were like, we need to get rid of him so that we don't have to think about what he would do in this situation.
He's immediately sidelined by getting killed in the alternate universe in Twilight.
Wow.
He's the only one that
Yep.
that is not around for the rest of that episode.
Yep.
Wow.
And he's immediately sidelined in The Breach when they're going down to the spelunking area to rescue some Denobulans.
Right.
And he breaks his fucking leg again.
Yep.
Yep.
Damn, that poor guy's leg. Was it the other leg this time, at least?
We don't know.
Ooh, I'd have to check.
Well, someone knows.
We'll see in the screen grab if it's the
Yeah.
same one.
I've got a dishonorable mention.
Oh, shit.
Whatever vile shit he pulls, that means he's still an ensign after 10 years.
Was he an ensign in...
He is.
Oh my god.
He's still an ensign in
This
the
is
finale.
in These Are the Voyages?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's because that is a holodeck program that doesn't have all its facts straight.
I'm
know.
gonna say that no, it's just he just never advanced because he never got the opportunity to do anything to impress anybody.
Yeah, I just wanted
I'm
to
going to
goof
say
on
it's the same reason that Henry is still an ensign, which is Starfleet talks a big game, but they're a bunch of racist pricks.
There you go. Yeah.
That one. That's the one.
Well,
I'm colorblind, they said, while not never promoting any of their
at least
minority
they gave
characters.
they never promoted him, but at least they gave Harry Kim
stuff
to do. Like he was an important character in a lot of episodes.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not talking about the writers. I'm
Yeah.
talking about Starfleet.
Starfleet. Oh, Starfleet's racist. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll buy that.
The writers are just dicks,
Yeah, big time.
but also maybe racist.
Some of them are probably racist.
Yeah.
It's true. Well, we'll find out who's racist and not next week, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Maybe.
I didn't have a segue there. But we will be talking about the war within... Nope, that's the opposite. The war without, the war within. That is the title of the episode we will be discussing next week. The war without, the war within. Interesting. Sounds deep. But we'll be talking about that. This episode of Star Trek Discovery. We'll be talking about next week on our podcast.
Ooh.
Until then, catch up with us on the internet at SSHB Podcast You can also hit us up at Tumblr, sshbpodcast.tumblr.com, I think.
Yeah, that's where this blog post will be. You
We'll
can
have a
see
blog
if I
post.
find a good non-prank of Mayweather.
And and new this week, well, it's been out for a couple of weeks, but this is the first time we're officially mentioning it, I think. We are now on Blue Sky.
Mm-hmm.
So find us there. I believe our handle is sshbpodcast.bsky.social or something.
Yeah, but if you just look up SSB Podcast, we should come up.
Yeah, SSHB Podcast, Stars Here. Yeah, follow us there. I found that there's not a lot happening on Blue Sky.
But if you join us, then there will be more
so join
happening.
us, interact with us.
But not a lot happening. I'm doing a lot with the Blue Sky.
No. Like, we're doing stuff on Blue Sky, but I think more generally it's kind of...
Everybody else is dropping the ball.
It's kind of got a ghost town feeling to it, but I'd like to do
We want to be there when it's still rising.
So yeah, engage with us there.
I mean, Facebook was pretty quiet when it started.
That's true.
I
yeah.
was one of the first, couple 100,000, certainly the first million people on there.
I was the first... I don't know.
The first person on Facebook?
I was, yeah. Zuck called me up and was like, hey, help me test this thing? I'm like, sure, bro. And then he screwed me out of it. They made a movie about it.
Have you guys heard the great new term, broligarch? That's what they're calling these fucking dickbags who are hanging out with Trump. Broligarchs.
Broligarchs before
like
oligarchs.
That's right.
Anyway, you can find us on all the socials, Facebook, of course, for as long as that, because that's starting to getting oddly fashy. So I don't know how long we'll be on there, but for now, anyway, you can find us on Facebook. And then, of course, you can get us at our home on the web at SoundCloud, SSHP Podcast, or wherever fine podcasts are sold. And as I want to do, I implore you to give us a rating, review on whatever podcast platform you're using. 5 stars, always appreciated, but fewer than 5 stars will be accepted, I'm sure.
Well, we don't have a choice.
Yeah,
so.
It's up to you. That's the thing. Freedom of choice. That's what we give you here at Star to Steer Her By. Anyway, until next week, my name has been Jake.
This has been Chris.
This has been Captain Mames.
And this has been... God, I can't even. Commodore Haitlin. I don't know. Admiral Haitlin might be better.
Corrupt Admiral Haitlin.
Badmiral Haitlin.
Yeah!